Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lucid. We're jumping back into Bumble Rumble. It's turn 42. We're playing Atlantis, of course. And let's see what we have in store. If you recall the last episode, we YOLO'd really hard. There was a big Ysian army with a bunch of Movark. We didn't know how many Movark Knights, but we had been told there were 20. And yeah, so we decided to attack it, because why not? It was in our dominion, so that means it was in our lands, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Before we get to that, we cast a few spells. We found a smoldering starfish colony, which I think this is just a F1, yep. And then we found a Labyrinth of the Skulls, which actually is a really good site. Or no, it's only a Death one, okay. For whatever reason I thought that was Death 2. Dire Portent. We have Stellar Focus by Pythium, which actually is a concern, because Pythium has some of the better summons in the game, and all of them require pearls, so not very excited about that. And we have a big astral bank, so we want to control Nexus, but we'll see. We're a long way from Nexus, though. We're gonna have to. I mean, if we look at what it's actually gonna take, we'll do that afterwards. So I think it's probably time to start thinking about that. But first, the YOLO move. Let's see what we actually caught here. Okay. Not as scary as I thought it would be. In my tests, I did like 20 of these guys, and basically each one of these is like a thug. They have a good magic weapon. They're gonna take a bless. They've got a bajillion defense, so they're really hard to hit. They have Fiery Breath, which is going to clear. It's basically like a firebrand attack. And then good armor. I mean, they're just really good, is kind of all there is. They can also sail, which is kind of badass. So, that is these guys. And on our side, we have the Kraken. And I sent him a fun little message, I think, which says, out of nowhere appears suddenly a wild Kraken appears, I think was the message. As if he were a Pokemon, for those of you who are not nerdy enough to know that. And anyway, some of these guys appear to have had Gift of Flight cast on them, which is interesting. It looks like he was preparing to maybe do that on some of his thugs. Okay, one Movark down. 100, I think they're like 120 gold. Okay, so there's one. There's two more. Or one more. Oh, there's another 120 gold, another one. We don't break yet, guys. Don't morale break yet. Got another one. This one's still holding. Okay, some of them got away, which is too bad. Meanwhile, my Kraken... Okay, he got a chest wound. That's a little annoying. Those are the kind that easily heal, though. Okay. And, yeah, so we have declared war on Ys, apparently. And we killed a bunch of their stuff. So the the very Pyrrhic victory in Pangaea has left them very weakened. And we thought about doing this against the big army. The problem is, and we went and tested it, these guys are scary as hell. So there's that. We have another Ysian fight. So Ys apparently attacked us in Darkwoods, which is the province we just took from them. They were bringing in some crossbow reinforcements. Little did they know that the wild Kraken that appeared is still there. And this is not going to go well for them. Okay, some of them will be lucky enough to retreat. The wise among them. Okay. And there we kill most of them. And because they didn't have a commander, I think that makes them more likely to disperse on their own. And if they disperse on their own, it's much more likely they're going to kind of die. So they're basically gone. Next we have some battles with Pelagia. So Pelagia is attacking us here in Utterdeep with just a scout. Okay, so he's just pinging us there, which means he may attack us. We'll talk about that. He's attacking me here in Atlantis. And we got quickness, fortunately, on these guys, which means they are at combat speed 32. And his little gem baiter is going to get more than he bargained for. We did get Shark Attack up, though, which kind of sucks. So we wasted probably like 4 gems. But that's okay. I have to have some assurances, like, if the fight goes on, he can try to bust out with his mages, and if he does all the shit his mages can do, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble, so we have to have some stuff scripted. So that was the battle in Pelagia. We see Mictlan attacking Tianchi. So I haven't really gotten an update from either player in terms of how this war is going, but Mictlan's being pretty scrappy. He's got his flagellants, which he probably got from a random event, and they have a shock weapons, air shield, barkskin bless, which is very interesting. This is middle-aged Mictlan, and middle-aged Mictlan is not really a blood nation, but they do have a bunch of flyers. Like, they can mass-produce Eagle Warriors, which is cool. Problem is, yeah, I don't know. Eagle Warriors are killy. Taking a defensive bless on Eagle Warriors seems very weird. I mean, they're easy to get shot at, but if you have flyers, why do you need air shield? It's possible now that he was doing this mostly for path access on his Pretender, and the air shield was just, you know, something to get. Barkskin is nice, but it's something Mictlan can do on their own anyway. But it probably helps with early expansion. Eagle Warriors with Barkskin are probably pretty good. And then Shock Weapons is nice, but usually I think you want to combine it with something else, but maybe not. It's probably okay. I mean, those guys would kind of murder my thugs unless I put shock resistance on them, which of course I would do if I'm fighting Mictlan. Okay, Atlantis attacking Ys, so that is us. This is his throne. And now, he must have a fair amount of PD, because he gets one of these Morgan champions as part of PD. And those guys are pretty scary. Is it gonna come? Okay, yeah, it's gonna come running in, rip-roaring through. He's gotten frozen, I think, either by my brand or by Gift of Winter. Now, we are doing pretty solid. We've got very low fatigue after our buff cycle, 22. Our reinvigoration is 17, so that's not gonna stay there. We have very high encumbrance, though, of course. But 17 to whatever, yeah. And there goes the PD. So that was good. And that was, I mean, that's probably like 400 or 500 gold. Now, Ys is a big nation, right? So I'm kind of poking the bear. But this is a good way to start poking the bear. I think the problem Ys has. So Ys could have Cloud Trapeze, which would be a problem. Because that would solve... Okay, we're doing a gym bait here. So let's take a look. Okay, we'll finish talking about Ys. So Ys is a slow nation if it has to do logistics all the way from the ocean out. Okay, I mean, they have cavalry, which can move quickly. But, okay, they're not a slow nation, but it's slow moving through the water. I don't know where their cap is, but if they have to move their cavalry through the water, it's going to be kind of slow, and this land in Pangaea, I think, is a pretty long way away from their supply center, and most importantly, they lost all their cap-only sacreds. So that is why we're poking the bear. Soulslay coming out, but it is preferentially targeting these guys, which is fine by me. Meanwhile, we have Lucky and Twist Fate, and I think this works. Oh no, it doesn't work from Soulslay, but whatever. Okay, we cast School of Sharks, which I'll turn colors on so we can kind of see. Got a few sharks. We could get lucky. Okay, we made a little water elemental, and now we're making a run for it. Oh, shit. We might have gotten one of his mages. I've heard somebody die. Okay, our little sharks got kind of munched on. Okay. Aha! We got a mage. And we burnt some gems, because if we look at it, a few people are going to cast Power of the Spheres, and that's the only way he's able to Soul Slay. And then over here, we summoned Earth Power, Water Power, and then Water Elementals. Quite a few, actually. Okay, and then that's it. So I think he spent like 5 or 6 gems, which is fine. I had to spend some, but I got a mage kill off of it, which I wasn't expecting. And I didn't really lose anything. I lost like a couple chaff units. So all in all, a very, very good trade for me. Okay, tax harvest plus 400% tax. We got additional dominion and order, and then we lost some PD here, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, we're definitely not going to put it back up to that. We had an atrocious amount. We still have 48 after we lost 8. So we did a massive PD dump here. I can't remember if we had a battle here that ended up paying off using it. We might have dodged that battle. Or he might have dodged it and then we headed out here. I know we did a PD dump here. I think that's what happened. I tried to bait him into a PD dump here. He didn't take it, but we ended up taking one out here. I think that's what happened. Okay, so Pelagia's breached. Here in this fort, we haven't done anything. And this fort, they are repairing the fort faster than we can tear it down. So we only have a siege strength here of 7, which means they must have more than 7 guys inside. Or more than 7 siege defense. So we're going to move this on top, and this should pop it, and then after that we can go inside. I think I'm just going to send a thug and this guy inside who's going to just summon fire elementals. And I think it's going to be like fire elemental, and then we'll send the thug in. And he could die. Or maybe we'll do the army, and then the thug will do like a quick... I don't know. I really don't know. We'll have to see. I think there's a lot of earth mages in there. So anyway, we're moving this army on top. We should be able to pop it. This is actually a kind of valuable province. We've got high population, check, good resources, and we've got 3 magic gems that we found, right? And there could be more, because Pangaea doesn't have a ton of magic diversity, and we can see the ones they have are Earth and Blood. So there could be more. This could be a really high... These are both really good sites. So we're recruiting our Enchantress. She's going to take forever to come out, though, because... it's 4 points and we're only doing 1 a turn. But that's okay. Our income, if you've noticed, is very high. It's at 4,000 now. So it's been going kind of through the roof. Let's take a quick look at score graphs. I don't think we've done that recently. Provinces, this is what you want your... I mean, this is as good of a province growth graph as I've probably had in a long time. I mean, in multiplayer. I mean, we're just constantly growing. And... a part of this was just because our expansion sucked, so like if it was good, it would be like this and then flat for a little bit, and then like the war with Pelagia goes our way. But we keep finding little deals. We find one province here, one province there, something here, something there, and just these little deals we're finding are adding up. So this army, which was going to go crack some of these Pelagian forts, we have decided to instead go take this from Pangaea. And part of the reason for this, now there's risk with this, because I'm opening myself up. Relay also has a force right here. Now I think this is going to come and attack this little Pelagian thing right over here. Which is fine by me. There's a chance he attacks here. And I think I did a PD dump here a little bit. Yeah, I put a little bit more in. Whoops. Put 30. And then we've got this guy doing summoning water power and then summon water elementals and then shark attack. And that would be able to kill this if he comes. Now, I'm not expecting he will, but I've got a fort coming up. So it's possible he's scouted it and he's going to do some shenanigans. I don't expect it. Now, okay, what next? So he has now a fair, what was previously like a small amount in each of these forts is now significant. He's probably got kind of a lot of Pearl Mages in both of these, and he's got a fair amount of these Hoplites. What he may choose to do, because he also has a lot of mages in here, he may choose to bust out and attack this, right, and only spend a few gems, right, like not go gangbusters on his gem script, and then try to break out of his capital. Because if he breaks out of his capital, he's got a shot, albeit a long shot, of kind of making things happen. I'll put it that way. An extremely risky move. He can mono drop at any moment, really. And he can't mono drop on like when we're on his fort, but anything not on a fort, he can do it. So like he could mono drop this too. And that would definitely kill all this. But then he has to build a lab, and I would put water elementals on it. I don't know. And then, but that wouldn't be a bad move, because then I would want to attack this province, but he could build a lab, but he could move all his mages in and do a PD drop, and then I'm fighting with not much into that. But then I would just break through the fort the turn he does it. Like the turn he does this, I would just break through, and then I'd get his cap. So probably not a good move. But anyway, that's in his hand of cards. I don't think he has any lab province, because if he mono-dropped onto a lab province and I wasn't expecting it, he could teleport back in his capital before anything bad happened. Okay, so we have successfully done this. Now, I thought about keeping Mr. Hands on top of this fort, because I would like to send him inside to kill whatever's in there. I don't think I'm going to, and the reason is I'm expecting Pelagia may attack here. I think there's like a significant chance. And if he does, I've sent a little welcoming party, which is going to beef up with the PD, and it's going to be doing Shark Attack and summoning water elementals and friendly currents, and a bunch of stuff that's going to make the PD not shitty, right? And like he might send a force. I have no idea. But anyway, we're doing that, right? So if this doesn't work, right, or if anything goes wrong, I want to have my god in a lab so he can kind of kill stuff. I could also, like... Okay, that's not really going to happen. I was going to say... Where are all my Holy Threes? Did I move him back? I thought I had a Holy 3 here. Maybe I moved them back. That would be kind of dumb. Okay, so we're going to move him back over this way. If he attacks here, can we defend it? We have Ichthids, and Ichthids are pretty good. I think you're going to retreat if they get attacked. I don't want to lose the gems, but I'm fine losing... I'm fine losing this guy. So I think we'll have him Sermon of Courage. Okay. Something like that. So that's basically it. Now we want to take this fort too. We happen to have an army standing by. So we're going to move these guys up here. I've got some gems on them. I'm not sure what we're going to do with those gems. We could do anti-magic. I'm not sure. But we're bringing them in case we come up with something to do. Yeah, there's not too much that's going on over here. Basically, we can do quickness or quagmire. Yeah, I don't know. We can just summon water elementals. Who knows what we're going to do? The point is, we're prepared, all right? Sometimes you just have to leave home with stuff and you don't know what you're going to use it for. Now, as we come over this way, this group is going to go sit on top of the cap. Now, it's highly unlikely he has anything inside here that can kill this guy, right? So what I expect he's going to do is he's probably going to sit here. And if he sits here, then this little shitty army, which apparently I have in the wrong formation, is just... gonna murder them. Great. But rather than have my thug do something which is very low value, like siege this thing down, we're gonna have him move here, and he is going to go attack and try to kill people. And yeah, we hope that works. Meanwhile, this province, which looks like the only province near me we're not raiding, because we're also raiding this with this thug. This guy is going to have major fatigue problems, though, because he's going to do summon Earth Power, but that's not gonna. He's not going to be fatigue neutral. He's going to be pretty fatigue negative. Well, he'll be slightly fatigue negative. So we're not going to do like a full script. We're going to leave one of them off, which I think is okay. But we're also only going to do defensive ones, because I don't want to do quick and self if we're not fatigue neutral. This person, however, is more fatigue neutral. Higher encumbrance of 7, but we've got 3 for reinvigoration and we've got 4 for the boots, and then the +1 you get kind of natively will put us at just where our fatigue will slowly come down throughout the battle. But we're still not doing quick and self, so short defensive scripts here. This should, and we'll put him on attack cavalry. This should, and this is, I think, only going to position where change where he moves. I don't think it will change his like attack preference, but hopefully this is able to kill their PD, because I'm sure if he had 20 PD here, he's probably going to put 20 PD on Pangea's cap. So anyway, hopefully we can kill that. Now, the risk is that he has some other stuff I'm not aware about, and he sends that all into patrol. And if he does that, there's a very good chance we die. Well, yeah. We're not doing Legions of Steel. Legions of Steel is probably going to go a long way, actually. I think it may be worth it. We're slightly fatigue neutral. It's going to be higher impact than Breath of Winter. It is a high fatigue spell, though. Is he coming from a lab? No. I'd like to give him an Earth Gem for that, just to help him get through this script with a little less fatigue. Probably going to be better than Temper Flesh. They're going to have a really hard time hitting him. I mean, if we look at it, his normal protection is going to be upped by 6. So it's going to be... head will be 22 and body will be 25. And then he's going to get an additional, basically, 10. Because this will be 20 for natural protection after Iron Skin. So half of that about will apply, since this is going to be the higher value. So yeah, body protection will be like 35 almost. I don't think the Movarks are going to get through that. They're going to have 19 piercing damage, which will treat my 35 as if it is... you're going to subtract 20%, so that's about 7. So that's going to bring it down to 35, 7, like 28 effective protection versus 19. Yeah, I think we'll be fine, because we'll also have Temper Flesh. But, you know, thinking about it, I don't know if we really need Temper Flesh. Like, Breath of the Winter may be better, because we're going to get surrounded. I think Breath of Winter is going to be better. I think this is what we're going to do. Anyway, okay, so we're attacking here, we're attacking here, we're attacking here, we're moving guys here. We're really just kind of invading. And Meanwhile, Pangea is like the proud owner of this fort. Not sure what Pangea is going to do, now that he has accomplished his mini objective of taking this from Ulm. Which I think was very funny. What else? We're also... there's one province here we haven't taken, right? And this potentially could reinforce Zeus's cap. But... we are going to be teleporting one of our dudes. We were going to be teleporting one of our dudes. Did we decide against it? We could have. Oh, maybe we just forgot to. Okay, home slice, get ready. So this is our... we already built the kit. This guy is going to be pretty gnarly. He's going to go jump on top. Oh, he's out of range. Or no, they're in range. Okay. Get your butts ready. So here we go. We're gonna do... so the thing is, I don't think it's Movarks, but if there are, there could be like 3 or 4 Movarks there. And if there are, I want to have some precaution against them at the beginning of the script. So the things that are going to help us with Movarks. Astral Shield. Well, let's do them in priority order. Liquid Body's going to help. Astral Shield. We already have Breath of Winter. And then finally we're going to do Body Ethereal. Now, should we do Quicken Self? We are not fatigue neutral. And we have this, which is going to fatigue out people around us, so we're not really on the clock. And we've got good chip damage. I think we don't do Quicken Self. I think we just attack. But I think we want to hang tight at the back. Get a little fatigue down if we can. If it's just archers, which is what it's looking like, then this will be probably the most reliable script. Because Body Ethereal is going to be really good against crossbow. And then Liquid Body will help too. Yeah, got Breath of Winter already. This should be pretty legit. Now, one thing, this is going to give us Cold Protection 3. Wonder if I have anybody else. I don't. Cold Protection 3 is not ideal in Heat 3. I don't know if I have... okay, this is only Heat 2, and it's gonna cool down as we get... I think we're gonna swap out armored dudes. Okay, so we might... we could Breath of Winter. We have a brand and a coral sword. I think we just attack. I don't want to overdo it on fatigue. It's one of the problems I probably make more than I make other problems, is I overdo it on a fatigue. I'm like, oh, let's get all the buffs in, but then I don't put enough reinvigoration gear. And I do too much. Now you, good sir, I think we had put... oh, we didn't even script you, because we are not good at what we do. So we've got a big army coming in. We'll have this guy up here. They're on attack closest, I guess. Yeah, why not? And then this guy's just gonna get... I think we actually have good fatigue. Yeah, this guy's super fatigue neutral, so he's definitely a Quicken Self candidate. I think we're gonna do Iron Skin, and then we're gonna do Water Quicken Self. And then we're just gonna attack. And he should just kind of wreck people. This is pretty good gear. This is probably one of my favorite thugs that I've kit. I'm not favorite like in the course of the game, but in terms of this game, I like the gear on him better. Like an earth dude. Like this is kind of clumsy, I feel like. But we did this specifically for poison resistance to deal with Shark Tribe. But this, I think, is like very, very good general kit gear for these guys. Now, if I get a little bit better on my fatigue situation, then, and I'm not sure how I would do that exactly, but we can think of that later. Then, yeah, maybe you don't do the Rhyme Hallberg. And this is super dependent on the temperature scales you're fighting in. Like, I'm not expecting there to be a fight here, so it doesn't really matter what I script. But it's heat 2 right now. As my Dominion gets in here, it's going to shift down to being cold, at which point it'll be good to have it in this part of the world. But here, it's a high Dominion of heat, so it's unlikely my Dominion's going to kind of come in there yet. And I think that is about it. We're also doing site searching. I've got a few Dark Knowledges coming out. What I realized is this bat has 1 research point. I was sitting around researching. I was like, what am I doing? Do not let bats research when they're in Drain Dominion. Alright, they are pretty bad. We put a Skull Staff on him. He's site searching. This bat, our Drain Dominion isn't fully percolated here, so he gets a whomping 3. Nevertheless, we will cast Dark Knowledge. And so that's it for this turn, I think. Yeah, so I think we're going to go ahead and submit it. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.